Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back to watch. But for those of you who are new, my name is Jahcelyne, warmly Jahcelyne. So happy to have you. I hope you stay a while, peruse through the channel. We've got a lot of stuff for you. But today we are talking about being the coolest person you know. And this is such an interesting topic to me because being the coolest person that you know comes with a little level of delulu, a little bit of delusion, but it's okay. Like having a little bit of delusion, I feel like is good. It's good. Like you have to sometimes, like I feel like overhype yourself and over have this self-actualization and self-esteem that is a little fake.
You be fearless every day, and when you don't feel like it, just pretend, girl. That's it. Really and truly, don't let them see you sweat.
Just so that you can step into who you want to be. Because that whole saying, fake it till you make it, is not just in terms of like external things, but it really is sometimes like I'm going to pretend and fake that I'm confident. I'm going to pretend and embody this higher version of myself who is not afraid to talk to people, who is not afraid to go out for what they want, is not afraid to travel or solo travel or try new things or try new foods or say yes to things. And Shonda Rhimes, by the way, has this book called The Year of Yes. And I would fully recommend it to anyone who is stepping into a year that they just want change, that a season where they want to feel like I'm fearless, I'm courageous, I'm gonna say yes to the things that I normally would say no to, and just see where it goes and see what happens and see where that takes you, because you probably won't regret taking a gamble on yourself in the ways that align with who you want to be and becoming the coolest version of yourself and becoming the coolest person that you know. So I think that one of the things to start off with about like thinking about the coolest person that you know is to actually think about the coolest people that you know. What do they have in common? What is it that attracts and draws you to them? What makes them cool to you? Is it the way that they dress? Is it the lifestyle that they live? Is it the career that they have? Is it the company that they keep? What is it that makes them cool? Because it's more than just the surface things. There's an energy that attracts you to them. There is an embodiment that they carry that attracts you to them. So pay attention to those elements of what makes them cool. Is it what they do? Is it what they wear? Is it who they are? Is it the way that they carry themselves? Is it their education? What is it that makes them cool to you? And that's a great place to start with. Maybe those are the same or similar attributes that you see in yourself or want for yourself that you think is cool. I also think, like I was saying to my first point, is this having a little bit of delusion. Going back to that point, it may seem a little crazy, but think about the scary things that you want to do and have not done. And think about the level of confidence and the esteem that it takes to get to that point, to put yourself out there, to go out for the things, to do the things. It takes this level of delusion because there are going to be people around you that simply just don't agree. And that's going to come to a later point that I discussed. But there are people in your life that are just not going to get it. They're not going to understand. They are literally just not going to, it's not going to click for them. But there's a reason that it is for you. The things that you want to do are put into you. Those desires are put into you and not into them, because we are all called to this world to do something uniquely only that we can bring forth. It doesn't matter if the person next to you is doing the same thing or it seems like it's like in a similar way. they're doing it the way that they're doing it, and only you can do it with the only swag and the pizzazz and the ingredient that only you can bring to it. So it's, what are you sleeping on? What is a stone that you want to turn over just to see? What's that curiosity or that thing in the back of your head that you're like, I've always wanted to do this, and you've just put it away. You've just put it away. You've buried it under adulting, under responsibilities, under being a parent, under being married, over, oh, I live in this area, there's no reach for me. What have you buried it under? And uncover it and get curious and explore and do research and become the coolest person that you know. Don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about if it'll happen for you. The thing is, if you have faith and you put work toward it and you combine those things, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time before you're walking in alignment with the coolest person that you want to be. I'd also say, aside from the delusion and aside from not paying attention to what people think, because newsflash, people don't think for themselves. And this may not come as a surprise to you. People are conditioned, people borrow thoughts, people sometimes need people to tell them how to think. So why does it matter what anyone thinks about what you're doing with your life? Because God willing, at the end of your decade, at the end of your life, you don't want to be sitting in your last days thinking about how so-and-so from, I don't know, where you worked when you was 25 cared about what you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so irrelevant and so insignificant and such a non-factor about what people think about what you're doing with your life, as long as you're not harming other people or yourself. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's literally, you have to break it down like that. Like, who cares what so-and-so is thinking about what I'm doing with my life at this time, because only you know where you're trying to get to. Only you know intrinsically, like, where you are trying to be. Other people aren't going to understand that, and it's not for them to understand. If you want to let people in on that, fine. That's all you. That's up to you. But it's like, no one is entitled to what you want to do with your life. Unless, of course, it's your children or your husband or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the things that are irrelevant. So I think that the other thing that's super, super important and super imperative as it relates to becoming the coolest person you know is getting to know who you are. That's kind of vague, right? Because that's a ongoing thing that requires a lot of tools to get there. But there are some fundamentals that you can lean on as it relates to getting to know who you are. And those things are what's important and can be your compass and can guide you. Because just as important as it is to know what you don't like and who you are not, I twisted my words. I mean, that knowing who you are, knowing what you like, and knowing what you want to be is just as important as the opposite of knowing what you don't like and who you don't want to be and what doesn't draw you in. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, there are way too many of us that live underneath who we are supposed to be, that live underneath our value, that live underneath what we can really deposit and contribute into this world. When we were all individually made, it was with a purpose that only we can bring forth. The desires that I have and who I want to be are not going to be the same as the next person, even if they look very similar. They can look very similar, but it's different. So it's like, when you think of when comparison begins to creep in, or when things like self-deprecating talk or silencing your inner critic, which I do have a video on that, like, when all of that stuff starts to creep in, you can combat that. Like, it's like really building up your mental strength, building up that positive talk. Just like how we can have negative talk, we can have positive talk. And that's where affirmations come in. And it all comes into and mixes well into who you're supposed to be, your confidence, getting to know yourself. All of that matters in becoming the coolest person that you know. Because at the end of the day, we come into this world alone, we leave this world alone. And wouldn't it just be cool to be, when you leave this world, to be like, I absolutely loved who I was. I absolutely think I was just the coolest person. Like that's cool to think about. It's genuinely cool to think about. So start doing the things that you want to do. Start doing those things that you've been putting off. Get to know who you are. Let some people go. Let some old beliefs and ideas of what you can't do and who you can't be, let it go. Give yourself the space and the permission to bring in new things, new experiences, new ways of thinking, new identities. Allow yourself to do that because you deserve to. If you are someone who has been living underneath who you know you can be and who you truly believe inside that you are, you owe it to yourself to turn up the volume on your life. You just do. Because I don't want to say it and sound rude, but it's like you don't want to waste your life being someone you're not. Or pretending to be someone that like you're not meant to just be, oh, I'm so inspired by this person, I'm so inspired. Be an inspiration. You can be an inspiration. You don't have to just be consuming all this, they're inspiring. You can be an inspiration. And it's thinking that way. It's that mentality. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. One of my best friends, Raina, always says, which I love, she says, it is a mindset for anything that you want to change. It is a mindset. Get clear and get okay and start loving your mind and loving yourself, and everything in your life will change. It just will. And I'm not even saying this as someone who has even gotten to all of the places that I want to get to and have done all the things that I want to do. Like, sure, right? Sure, fine. But this is a journey. As long as you can be in the driving seat or within the, heck, just be in the passenger seat if you can. If you can just get close to who you are supposed to be on this journey, that counts. Make it count. Make it count. We owe that to ourselves. We owe that to our families. We owe that to our ancestors. We owe it to turn it up. Truly. So that's what I have. That's what I think. Those are my thoughts. How you're becoming the coolest person that you know. This is a community where I think we should be sharing, dropping in the comments, DM me, whatever works, because I am curious and I care. That is all. That's all I have. Be well. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you on my next video. Bye.